And we're back with another episode of the Lakers Fast Break podcast. It's Lakers Postgame, everyone. It's Gerald Glassford coming right back at you here from Lakers Fast Break, Pop Culture Cosmos, where we cover the latest news and trends in pop culture each and every week, twice a week, wherever you get your podcasts. On this week's Pop Culture Cosmos for the PCC Multiverse, go ahead and catch it on the Pop Culture Cosmos podcast channels because we're talking a lot of good things. If you're a member for just $2.99 a month, you're watching it in the member section on YouTube. It doesn't debut on YouTube on Pop Culture Cosmos until tomorrow. So if you are watching it, we're talking a Mass Effect TV series. Finally, more Star Wars movies on the way, plus also as well the PlayStation 5 Pro and more. So go ahead and check it out today. Inside Sports Fantasy Football on that podcast outlet. Joe and I, also as well, Chris Sardieri. We're talking Week 10 in the NFL. So go ahead and check out what we're doing today at Inside Sports Fantasy Football. Also as well, of course, John Costa's here. He is the mastermind, the evil mastermind behind Clutch Talk and Lakers Corner, and the president of the D'Angelo I Am Now Coming Off the Bench fan club. Go ahead and catch him today as John Costa at Clutch Talk and Lakers Corner, and subscribe and like his videos today. Plus also as well, of course, Empire Jeff TV, Lakers in 5, Daniel Berry Sports Highlights, Yo, and John McCallion. All those great channels. Plus the Lakerholics crew, they're still trying to go back and forth on a time. I think it's going to be tomorrow at 11. And for the individual that asked to go back to school for Lakers 101, I did not forget. So I just got a plan when me and Professor Soro could get together for another great time at Lakers Fast Break University for Lakers 101. So those shows hopefully will be coming up this weekend as well. But make sure you like and subscribe here. We're almost to 1,900 subscribers. And also as well, of course, don't forget for just $2.99 a month, you out there can get part of what we do as far as the membership. I dropped that video. Like I said, I dropped videos, articles. I also dropped for you thank yous right below. And also as well, emojis, badges, and more for just $2.99 a month. Just $2.99 a month makes you a member. The best place to go for Lakers entertainment, along with, of course, Lakers Corner. It is the Lakers Fast Break podcast. Well, the Lakers coming back for the road trip, wounded, pride hurt, getting chewed out, except LeBron, getting chewed out by JJ Redick, and of course AD, who was hurt. Coming back to the confines, the friendly confines of the Crypt, to face off against a team that is doing even worse heading into today's game than they are in the Philadelphia 76ers without Joel Embiid, because even if he was available, he wouldn't be available because of the suspension and his knee. Tyrese Maxey is out for at least another 2 weeks with his hamstring. And also as well, Paul George, who just came back, he is on a minutes restriction from 25 to 30 minutes tonight. Let's see, what did he play tonight? He played 25 minutes, right on the nose. So with that, no excuses for the Lakers tonight. And again, in the first quarter, they got off to an early 7-point lead at the end of the first quarter. In the second quarter, they got a little sloppy with the ball, started making some poor decisions, and they actually lost the lead for a few moments there, but they came back in the third quarter strong and has the lead as high as 19 and cruised comfortably to a 116-106 victory. AD, just another day at the office. 31 points, 9 rebounds for the guy. I'm not sure if he's still leading the league in scoring. I'll have to see if when it updates. LeBron James, triple-double for him. The guy who I was told in the comment, but I do appreciate the commenter watching, first off. Thank you for watching. But says I was, I guess, providing excuses and saying that, when I said LeBron is probably the best 39-year-old player out there. Yes, does he take defensive, possessions off? He takes a lot of possessions off. Does he bring it every game? No, He doesn't bring it every game. But when we see games like today, very efficient, 9 of 14, 2 of 4 from behind the arc, 21 points, 13 assists, 12 rebounds, and you see the stats at 39 years old, which are more productive on the offensive end than any other player in history, including MJ. I didn't say he was a better player than MJ. I said at 39, he's a better 39 than anybody. Statistically. Let's clear that up because someone called me out incorrectly on that in the chat, or actually in the comments after that they watched the video. So with that, again, very efficient game for LeBron, which is kind of what we needed. Austin Reeves, 6 of 10 from behind the arc, 20 points for him. And D'Angelo Russell coming off the bench. Finally has an efficient game offensively. Still was terrible defensively and still made that bonehead play at the end of the first half. But plus 13 and 18 points on 7 of 12 shooting and 2 of 4 from behind the arc. He did spearhead the bench to help the Lakers, along with a good performance from Jackson Hayes with 8 points and 4 blocks. Get the Lakers the victory, 116-106. And here today to discuss this victory was a guy who was spearheading our coverage along with Joe Soro and also Xbox, who I'm hoping will come in on tonight's chat. Ox 1947, so funny. We're going to the finals. It's a good man indeed. You got to go ahead and check him out today at Lakers Corner Clutch Talk. All the content he has waiting for you there. Please like and subscribe while you're there. It is John Costa. John, ready to rock and roll, my friend. This is the evening we expected out of the Lakers against a very down team right now in the 76ers. No Maxey, no Embiid, limited with Paul George. This is exactly the type of game you're supposed to get.
Yes, it is, Gerald. It is. And what's going on? Welcome everybody that showed love. Appreciate Jay. You always sharing the channels. Appreciate everybody showing love. So thank you guys as always. And let's talk about the win, right? I don't think that it was a super pretty win, but nonetheless a win. Got good production from D'Angelo Russell off the bench, and this is when I say, I've said this on the last three streams when talking about D'Lo. You got to take the good with the bad with this guy. You
Okay,
got to
just
take the
let everybody know that's listening on audio. He was told today after a long talk with JJ that he would be moved to the bench and Cam Reddish started in his place. My apologies, John. Just wanted to make sure everyone's up to date on that.
all good. No, all good. And that is something that I was gonna get to. I was gonna talk about how um I think D'Angelo Russell, maybe he just is one of those people that needs a fire lit under him. He's one of those people who works better under pressure, because same thing happened last season, or oh no, sorry, not last season. I believe it was 2 seasons ago. Correct me if I'm wrong. We got a whole bunch of Lakers fans in here, but when the trade deadline was coming up, he started balling out of his mind. I think it was either last year or the season before. Just started balling out of his mind, and that's because news around the entire NBA, not just Lakers Nation, was he about to get traded. Come trade deadline, but he ended up balling out. He ended up being a solid player for us for the rest of that season. And this season, I'm thinking, all right, he's been on a hot seat. He's gonna come with it this season, but he doesn't. He doesn't come with it at all. And then we end up having. I mean, not we. I mean, JJ ends up having to light that fire under him, just like he got the fire lit under him about the trade deadline, and let him know, basically let him know, like, hey, you coming off the bench. And what I love, and this is something that I was telling my brother earlier. I love how not D'Angelo Russell. I love how um, JJ Redick. I don't know if you guys seen that video, but if you guys don't follow my TikTok on Lakers Corner, go check it out, because that TikTok's super booming. It's at Lakers Corner 24. But I posted a video on there.
What is TikTok?
You don't know about it. Joe got you
No, because
banned.
I got banned. Yeah, because Joe got me banned. Yeah, so I don't know what TikTok is. So forgive me if
But
I can't look at your TikTok because Joe got me banned.
But look, that that I have a TikTok I posted on there, and it's JJ Redick getting hella mad at D'Angelo Russell because he just did a dumbass play, and that was one of the first times. That was one of the first times that, and this season and last season, that I've seen a coach actually go out there and hold players accountable. Hold players like Darvin Ham would just be sitting there no matter what happened last year with
Yeah.
his hands in his pocket, just sitting there like this. And then he would go in the post game and say, "Yeah, Laker fans just live and die on games too much." Like JJ Redick was literally like slamming his seat, like slamming his foot and showing just clear, "Hey, I'm pissed off at you, D'Angelo Russell," and holding players accountable. So that I think that like that's not only is that great, but that lights a fire under players' ass. And also, when you were in that starting role and get brought to the bench, that also lights a fire under your ass. So I'm glad to see D'Angelo Russell have a solid production tonight. But my boy Xbox is in his post game with us. What's up, Xbox?
G'day, boys. Sorry, I'm gonna come on camera next
No
stream.
worries.
All
Okay.
good. All
But
good,
Got
also
a
brother.
here today is a good man indeed. He was also part of our, of course, playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break live coverage. It is one of our awesome audience members from down under. It is Xbox. Xbox, great to have you here. You are not monitoring the chat, my friend. You are actually in with
Yeah.
us. It is finally great
Thanks
to
so
have you
much.
here. Your thoughts on today's game, my friend?
Look, I feel good, because we got the win. A win's a win, as we say, and we'll take it. But there's still some signs there that are concerning. Dalton didn't really step up as much as I was hoping. His shot just doesn't seem like you sort of go back to preseason and it looked really, really fluid. Where now it's just I don't know if he's nervous or he's not. They said on the commentary at one point that he wasn't shooting consistently. So at halftime, he'd only shot 3 times. Sort of between the space of a quarter and a half. I don't know if that's affecting him. That's a little bit of a concern.
Well,
Gabe,
remember, he was the man at Tennessee.
yeah,
So there is a period of
yes.
adjustment, like with Edie, where he was the man.
And it's like,
Now,
yeah, you're not anymore. So you got
no,
to adjust to that. No, you're right, but it's like, should we be feeding him more? I'm not too sure. AR was great today, so got to take that. D'Lo bounced back from a couple of poor performances, like John said. JJ got really animated even today when I think D'Lo with the 5 second that in the first quarter he didn't pass it in within 5 seconds, and JJ got really upset. And that's what you want. So I'm liking what I see out of JJ, but there's still concerns. If I look at us, we're not a top team, but we just got to keep rolling. Hopefully, we can win some games and make some moves in the summer or my summer, your winter. But we'll see. John, you like that?
I like that. That's funny.
John,
And now I
John,
get it.
we're not only 14 hours in front, but when it's Christmas time for you and you're all snowed up, we're hot as here. So
That's
the,
crazy.
we're the opposite all the time. But no,
That's
I can't complain, Gerald. We got the win. We'll take
that,
it.
that's
we'll
crazy.
take it indeed.
Real quick, Gerald, let me just say something. N Bay 03, you're right, bro. In short, I was just trying to say that JJ Redick is holding guys accountable and going hard on them. But yeah, essentially you're right. I just had to lead it up like that. But Law Malcolm, brother, you mean JJ hasn't done, you really don't think JJ's done anything? If you really believe that, brother, I don't think you were watching last season's team the way they were coached and the way this season's team's coached. Agreed. He hasn't accomplished anything. I totally
Yeah,
agree on that. I'm not trying to say he's accomplished anything. We're freaking less than 10 games into the season. But all I'm saying is, as far
100.
as like improvements from last season to this season, coaching wise, and bro, it's visible, brother. So
You can just
I
tell.
wouldn't agree with that. I wouldn't agree with that, brother.
I
Anything.
didn't even know you had a YouTube channel, Xbox. I just subscribed to it, man. You
Oh
never told me.
man, it's like got like 4 video game. I used to do a lot of streaming of like VR or virtual reality on Facebook.
Mm.
Yeah, I was really into virtual reality for a few years, but I tried a couple of failed streams on. No, please don't join, Joel. Don't waste your time.
You know,
Well, let me ask you this before we get back to the game. Best VR unit right now, MetaQuest, PSVR 2, or that Apple thing that's like $9 million?
Yeah, and 9 million in America, which is 1 billion here.
Yeah,
Nah, definitely Quest. Like for me, because the Quest has the flexibility of playing on PC, and you've
that
obviously got
Batman
all
game looks awesome.
yeah, and you've got all the standalone games like Batman and Metro just came out and things like that. No, Quest is definitely the best option. As much as people hate Facebook and Meta, yeah, it's the best headset for sure. Because PSVR too, you obviously need the PSVR, which costs $500 in itself. So you're looking, maybe $1,000 in total for that sort of unit. And then
wow.
even if you want, yeah. So anyway, yeah, Quest for sure, Gerald,
There you go.
without a doubt.
Absolutely. A VR update right there for you from Mr. Xbox. Go ahead, support his channel anyways. Even if he doesn't visit it too often, go ahead and subscribe if you
I
can to
might
Xbox.
start, yeah,
You should.
Jeremy's asking, oh, now see,
back
all
up.
the Australians, they're as curious as we are about where you are. I think you said again, near Surfer's Paradise. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
so I'm in a place called Labrador, which is a couple of suburbs away from Surfers Paradise, which is like the
Okay.
capital of Gold Coast, which is a mini Miami, John. A
It's like
very
I've never been to
yeah,
Miami either, but I hear what it's like. So
yeah, it's a
Mm.
popular place. Put it that way. It's on the
There's a
beach, and
reason
there's
why Miami's home record is always good, and
that's
I'll just leave it at that.
that's why I couldn't
wait.
join for the fourth quarter. I was at the beach this, and yeah, there's plenty of sights to see, as the guys know in chat.
Oh, you'd let us know, and it's much appreciated. I'll leave it at that. But
Yeah,
Jeremy was asking because I guess he of course is Australian as well. But
of
once
course.
again, he said you and Xbox are neighbors. So there you go.
Yeah, he's very close to me. Yep.
Once
That's
again,
crazy.
it is the Lakers winning 116 to 106. They are now 5-4 on the season. John, I'll bring it back to you, my friend. Again, it is D'Angelo Russell. He is the topic of conversation. Obviously, it worked out well today, and you're not gonna. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. With Cam Reddish. By the way, I did a poll. I was gonna say, in pregame, I said that I was gonna do a poll for like, will he go over or under 10 points? Actually, I forgot to do it. So at halftime, I go, okay, will he go over or under 6 points? He didn't even make that, John. And but his defense got some steals, and the Lakers got the win, John. So what do you do if you're JJ Redick? Do you keep it as is because you do have a better perimeter defense with Cam Reddish out there? Just your offense, you're going to have to score a lot around him.
Yes. You know what, Gerald? I'm gonna stay consistent with my takes, and my takes has always been you cannot have one starting lineup in this league. You just can't. You just can't. So I think that it's gonna have to be uh, a constant rotation, right? The other day when we were going up against John Morant and they have an extremely elite backcourt, we need someone that's going to be able to play some better perimeter defense. So in that instance, all right, Cam, we're gonna need you to come off the we're gonna need you to start. We're gonna need you to pick them up early because if we're gonna rely on, I mean, I've already said this thousands of times, but if we're gonna rely on AR and D'Lo for our perimeter defense, like it's only gonna go down from here, guys. So I say that to
That
say it's super situational and it depends on who we're facing. Now the problem becomes the league is getting to a point where every team's just gotta damn near really good backcourt, and that's when I start to think to myself like, how does how is D'Angelo Russell gonna respond to the bench? Because I forgot who it was in the chat. So if you
Well,
said this,
remember this time last year, it was getting close to the point where he was benched during the season, and you saw what happened when he
yeah.
snapped out of it and got back off the bench. He became a completely different player.
Yeah, and
yeah.
whoever said this in the playback, credit to you. So speak up if this is if this was your take, but you were saying like, oh, is he gonna pout or is he gonna like embrace it? And I really hope that he takes his time to embrace it. And hey, maybe if he could give us a solid like 15 to 20 off the bench on a night to night basis, oh man, even 15
So
to 20 is asking a lot, but I'll take a solid 12. To be
He
honest.
has to
Yeah,
play
that
much better because his career depends on it. Remember, he's a free agent at the end of this season. He cannot be
D'Lo.
extended by the Lakers. That's correct. D'Lo
Yeah,
is he couldn't be extended based off of his deal, so he is a free agent. He is playing for his next contract. He is playing to try and still remain a starter in the league. And but based off of what we've seen so far early in the season,
yeah,
just
no
like
chance.
early last season, it's not looking good as far as him remaining a starter and getting that starter cash, guys.
Yeah, but if you look at D'Lo, I mean, he sort of reminds me a little bit of Schroeder. There's always going to sort of be that market of 12 to 15 mil, 18 mil for him. I just, I mean, for me, he's not, we sort of look at him as the third guy, and he's not the third guy. Do you know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like, he's sort
Yeah.
of our third guy. And we need a lot better than that. And tonight I'll give him his flowers. He responded to being off the bench. He had some poor plays, but he's just. I know you love him, John, and I have at times too, but he's just not there for me. He's not even a starter. Like, do you know what I mean? He might play well enough for us, and he might get some starting minutes for another team, but I don't know. He doesn't have
That
that win.
defense is really bad
Yeah,
this year.
it's
It's
so
like taking a
suspect.
yeah, it was here before, which is below average. It got a lot worse this year, John. I mean, there was no effort at times we saw on that road trip that D'Lo put on the defensive end. We always
No, and
talk
that's
about
why he got
LeBron.
benched. Yeah.
We always talk about LeBron having no effort at times on the defensive end. And I hear in the chat, I always see it in the comments. LeBron terrible on D, no effort on D. You're right, no effort on D, like a lot. He did play a little bit of D today. Got a some block shots today, but still, for the most part, he takes a lot of possessions off. D'Lo took every possession off on the defensive end during the road trip. It was like beyond bad, John. It was embarrassing. And again, I think he deserved this benching, but I'm hoping it'll snap him out of it and realize, you know what? His agent hopefully called him on the phone and said, dude, you're costing yourself millions of
Millions.
dollars,
Yeah.
millions, and years of security by not playing up to your potential that I think you can play at.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. Like his agent was costing not only D'Angelo Russell was not only costing himself money, he was also costing his agent money because his agent's not going to be able to get paid the same if
Yeah.
D'Angelo Russell gets
Yeah,
in gets
true.
a pay cut. So that agent was probably really on his line, letting him know what the letting him know to get it together. But it really starting. I want to see if this is a theme because if it's a theme, I'm gonna have a hypothesis of like that
Mm.
does D'Lo not care? Like, does he only care to the point where he just once he knows he's about to lose what he has, he starts trying? And I really don't think so because I don't get that vibe from him. I don't
And
get.
the thing is, though, JJ, as Draymond said, there was a good move putting D'Lo to the bench. But the way he phrased it in his comments, saying he had to make sure it wasn't personal, it wasn't over this, it was just over that. I just wanted to do a change. It, you know what? I don't like to go Joe very much, but I'm going to go Joe. Forget that. Tell him you've been playing like
Let's go,
garbage.
Joe.
Yeah, let's go, Joe. You've been playing like garbage, D'Angelo. Get right or get benched. It's that simple. You've been playing like
Yeah,
crap.
straight up.
Yeah,
Yep. But
yeah.
that's what you like to see out of JJ. He's got that sort of where demeanor and command and passion where I don't think Ham had that. Whether it was the hands in the pockets or whatever. He didn't have this. I know he benched him last December, and I mean, but that took him way too long. In hindsight. So JJ, you can sort of he loves the club, or I mean, he loves his job. So, like John was saying before, there's a bit more there than Ham, so it gives us confidence. But yeah, D'Lo, man, you just want him to step up. Like he was a Laker before this.
Yeah.
We loved him when he was a Laker in the early days with Kobe and things like that. But Yeah, it's just a
Well, I don't
shame.
think Nick Young liked him very much after
No,
that.
after the
Yeah.
oh, she was
That was
Australian, that
terrible.
Iggy Azalea.
Yes,
Anyway,
Iggy was. Yep,
From
Iggy is.
Xbox,
hey, my
Xbox, she's from
man.
the down under. She's
Nah.
from Australia.
She lives right next door, bro.
But yeah, I will
There's a
give.
kangaroo between me and her.
Yeah, there you go. But I will give JJ his props on making the move and understanding and not letting
Yeah.
it drag out. One of the three, and I know this was one of the comments. Oh, you guys are embracing Torian Prince now as a backup. As a backup, he was okay. But
He was
when you keep
fine.
him
Yeah.
in the starting lineup for seemingly eternity last season, that's the problem everyone has because you could see that was the problem. One of the main problems plaguing the Lakers last season was
That's right.
him in that starting lineup, not coming off the bench where he's better suited. So
Yeah.
JJ recognized this like months before Darvin Ham stubbornly did it, and he had to be dragged kicking and screaming to do that before he made the change. In the case of JJ, what? I give him credit. John, I'll bring it back to you. He made the move, and he made the move a lot quicker than Darvin Ham would have.
Yes, he did. And perfect that we're talking about JJ because I actually want to talk about
Well,
some.
even when he benched D'Lo, what, in December? Was
Yeah.
it December? Yeah, so he even did it a lot sooner than what Darvin Ham did with D'Lo the first time around.
Yeah, I want to talk about someone that's here in the chat. I don't know if this guy is being just a troll, this Law Malcolm guy, but he just keeps like trying to bag on JJ. And I'm gonna be honest, brother. Either you're just a troll or you actually don't understand the game of basketball. Because for to me, it looks like you're backing up Darvin Ham by saying Ham got to the playoffs and won in-season tournament, and then dogging on JJ Redick, which is wild to me. Which is wild because the coaching disparities is crazy, brother. And we don't even have to get to talking about the X's and O's. Like we don't even have to talk about lineups.
Well,
We'll talk
well,
about the
hold on.
simple. Let me
I'll
just
say
say
this:
one thing real
when
quick.
you look at it on paper, John, and you just see the fact, like for instance, Frank Vogel. Why was he fired? He took the Lakers to a championship. With
Yeah.
Darvin Ham, he took the team to two different playoff appearances, including Western Conference Finals. It's when you look deeper and you saw the problems with the team, the fact he pissed off AD. When AD gets pissed off and starts making comments to the media, that's when you're going to go as a coach. And he did that. It got to the point where his rotations, the lack of ball movement, the problems as far as his relations with the media and the fact that he just had lost the team as far as his relationships with the players, they all said
Yep.
to the T, they all said to a T in as far as at the beginning of training camp how much, or they either said it overtly or directly, how much they did not like playing for Darvin Ham. And in the end, that's what matters more than what you see as far as the actual placement of this team, John, or where it was the past two seasons.
Yeah, yeah, and like I was saying, like the disparity of them is just different. It's just it's wild. Like I was saying with with the lineups and roster, but not even that. Like we can say, you know what? Let's throw that to the side. Let's just say, for instance, maybe Darvin Ham did have some good X's and O's. He didn't, but he didn't. But let's say maybe he did. But what Darvin Ham did never have is the ability to my baby Carter. What's up, baby? You going to sleep? Okay, I love you.
Oh,
Ah.
oh,
no,
Ah.
but listen up.
oh.
Ah.
What Darvin
How
Ham
can you
never
talk
had.
about X's and O's now?
Is Joe on the other side of that camera too, John? Is he looking for a goodnight kiss as well?
But listen, what Darvin Ham never had is he never had the ability to just understand, like, damn, like this team is on a run. Let me call a timeout and let me stop this run so that
Yeah,
we could
100.
get a run going. And like, so if you can't understand that simple concept as a coach, and your X's and O's are bad. Your rosters, your lineups are already bad. Like man, like I'm gonna just say, Law Malcolm. I don't know if you're trolling, bro, But there's no way you're really backing up Darvin Ham and just trying to bag on JJ. Doesn't make any
Yeah.
sense.
I mean, now he has
Yep.
players on other teams that make sure they go out of their way to take shots at Milwaukee. Like Scottie
Yeah.
Pippen Jr. I think was the one that said to that he really took shots because he really did not appreciate the way Ham treated him during his time with the Lakers. But Xbox, your thoughts now? Again, I'm giving JJ a chance. I'm not saying like Laker Tom that he's the next Pat Riley. And I might just roll my eyes when I actually hear him say that every single time. I may have to hear him tomorrow if Jamie can't host the show. Say that again, but I think he's gotten off to a decent start. A decent start
Yeah.
at 5-4 is decent for the Lakers right now with a new coach. But yeah, and still a lot of problems that, like you said, that the Lakers still have on their team. I mean, yes, the win's a win, but yes, it still doesn't take away the fact that we have a lot of issues on this team going forward.
Yeah. No, I like it. Like if I look at JJ, I think to myself, if he had a really good squad, um, we're okay, we're competitive, but just say he was, coaching AKC or something like that, would he be doing as well as the coach there? And I think so. He looks really sharp. We've obviously known that he loves to get a weekly haircut and keep himself looking the part, which is good, but he just looks right. Like the way he's acting, the way he's getting upset when players are doing the wrong thing. Even today, like he called it was like 9 minutes into the game, he called what do they call it? A challenge to
Yes.
LeBron's personal foul because he didn't want LeBron to be on, a foul, knowing that LeBron was going to be so important for the course of the game. I think something like that's a bit, that's intuitive. That's out there. You don't sort of. Darvin Ham wouldn't have done that. Darvin Ham would have looked to his bench and thought, we'll wait till the fourth quarter, the last minute to call a
Eh,
challenge.
Well, he would have had his hands in his pockets.
Well, and that too, and plus the little, is it a second brain or a tumor on his head? I don't know what was going on there, but there was all sorts of issues. I know he
I
did
think
get.
it's from a gunshot.
Okay, I do apologise. I know he did get shot as a. Okay, we're moving right along. Sorry, Darvin. But no, there's a lot more with JJ. Like, obviously I watch NBA very closely, but I watch Spanish football very, very closely. I'm a big Barcelona supporter, and in recent years we've gone through something similar with coaching changes. And when you get someone that has it, you can just sort of tell. And I think that's why they hired him, because we all sort of thought what was going on here with JJ. He was a bit in the media, he was always challenging Stephen A and things like that. He was sort of a bit controversial. And I liked his takes, but he was more sort of, he was a bit of a hot taker there for a while. But the way he's transcended into a coach has been great. I'm loving it personally. I can tell, as we can all tell, that our squad is not very strong.
Yeah.
We've got LBJ on 50 mil. You think if we could spread that coin to two, three other players, how much stronger we'd be. And yeah, Rob hasn't been great. So we'll see. We stick fat, but JJ's doing all he can. So that gives me confidence.
And I want to give a shout out to CJ Calvin. He did go earlier in the chat. He had to go because it's 1 a.m. in the morning for him, John. But I did want to clarify something that was said on playback during the game. I guess so. Bronny gets optioned to the G League when the Lakers are at home, so he'll play home games for the South Bay Lakers, but he gets optioned back
Yeah.
to the Lakers. Thank you, Xbox. That he goes on the road with Daddy and the Lakers. So I guess that's so. What was and as I said this in the chat, guys, you were going to hear that. People talk. We want Bronny, like you heard tonight. Get used to it because it's there. It's going to be everywhere now. It's going to be following us. If he's going into all the road games, it's going to follow us all over America. And again, as much as we don't think he's an NBA player, he's making the Lakers a crap ton of money, and it's just that simple. Right now, it's dollars and cents for the Lakers, and I don't think he'll ever become a rotation player, in my personal opinion. If he does, that's a bonus for the Lakers. But right now, financially, it's been a win for the Lakers, John and Mark.
Yeah. No, he's. I mean, I feel like the
I mean,
Lakers
those
knew this.
Bronny jerseys. I see people wearing Bronny jerseys here in Vegas, for God's sakes.
The Lakers
Why?
knew this. The Lakers knew this, man. The Lakers knew this. But honestly, like, yeah, I was talking to one of my friends the other day about this, and it's funny to say, like, for us, we hate it because he's on our team. But any other team, we'd be like, dude, that's so fucking dope. Like, like that's sick. Like, there's some. Can you imagine? I don't know if anyone here has kids of age that could be in the NBA and they're still in somewhat of good shape, right? But like, can you imagine playing in the NBA with your child? Like, you changed this
Yeah,
kid's diapers. Now you're passing this kid the ball. I think it is a cool like thing to see, but
It,
it just sucks for us because it's on the Lakers, and it's
but
like, damn.
it's the media coverage of it, guys. I think that really turns Joe and I off on it, because when the media puts on the front page that he gets option to the G League on the front page of ESPN.com, why? No other player that gets option to the G League ever gets that kind of coverage. But it's
uh,
Bronny and the thing is, that's going to irk us every time. We're going to hear this at every game on playback. We
that
want Bronny, we want Bronny, all that crap. And the thing is, it treats it almost like a sideshow. Like
yeah,
Jeremy said, a circus. It becomes a circus. It becomes a distraction. And it's something where the Lakers they're just struggling to stay above 500. It's something added that they don't really need. The wisest course, okay, let's say
yeah,
you're making a ton of money off him, you drafted him, you're going to have to live with it at this point. Just send him to the G League for the season. Keep him there. You've already made more money than you're paying him out for the season. You've already made more than what $2 million that you're paying him out. Put him in the G League. Sell out every G League game like you did tomorrow's night's G League game,
yep.
and
Make
just
your
just
money.
run with it there. Let him develop there. He does it does you no good sitting him on the bench. It's a distraction for the Lakers, and it actually serves to hurt him even more as a player.
Yeah.
I
Now you
agree.
go, John, if you need to, but
Yeah,
I'll
I have
just
nothing to
quickly.
say. You're
Well,
good.
I'll just quickly say that even tonight, like we don't really sort of anticipate the what the effect it's having on LeBron as well. We sort of only talk about Bronny's side of things. I saw LeBron tonight, first or second quarter, engaging with Bronny and someone else on the bench that never plays, and they were having a laugh. And I just think to myself, is that forced? But yeah,
That's real.
Jeremy, yes. I mean, those games, I've watched those games previously on Sportsnet because they have them, and you'll see what, you know, a couple hundred people, maybe, just, yeah. But those G League games, I think that's maybe set up for like a couple thousand, maybe at the most, Jeremy. But yes, it's sold out already. They've
yeah,
already told you that only way you could see the tomorrow night's G League game is on Sportsnet. So yeah, it's crazy. This is a G League game. When I went to go see in Henderson, Victor Wembanyama versus the G League All Stars, including Scoot Henderson.
it
I'm
wasn't
probably
sold out.
not even close.
Yeah, yeah,
And it's in a smaller arena, the Henderson Arena, which is now Lee's
man,
family former here in Las Vegas. That's a 5,000-6,000 seat arena. It was lucky to have 2,000, I think, maybe at most, and most of that was either people involved in the NBA that was there. That's
yep,
where I met. That's where I got. That's where Sham Sharania bumped into me. I tell that story all the time. I'm probably the only one that has a ticket to that game, so I'm hoping I cash in. But Victor Wembanyama's got to play a hell of a lot better than he's playing right now. I'll tell you that. But
yeah, you're
again,
right.
there's they didn't even show up for that game, yet they're showing up for Bronny's game, and it's
Yeah, it's
irritating.
insane. No,
It,
it's honestly, I sort of like look at it and go, okay, Bronny's good, but he's not great. But they obviously, LeBron is such a revered figure there that people will rock up for both him and Bronny. And I don't really, I'm not on. Oh, well, I was on Twitch many years ago, but I'm not on Twitch. Apparently, he's a COD gamer or something.
Yes,
Gerald, like, yeah,
I think
he's
he won the COD championship for NBA
gotcha.
players.
So
Yeah,
he's obviously got a lot of following through that, but I don't
Black Ops
understand
6,
it.
by the way. Yeah, there you
Yeah,
go.
let's go. You need me to promote Game Pass now?
Exactly. But I'm
Have to
just doing a
be.
campaign. I'm not going to get myself killed like 40, 50 times in
In
multiplayer.
the multi. Oh, well, the
Yes,
campaign's brilliant this time. Give
yes,
it
it
to them.
is.
Yeah, and Game Pass, such a good deal. Anyway,
There you
moving
go.
on.
No worries, my
Nintendo,
friend.
PlayStation is good.
Yeah, there you go. But again, Bronny, again, it is what it is. But getting back to the Lakers, again,
Yeah,
116 to 106. Mark, again, I don't want to take too much from this game because this is a team that you should have beaten by a lot. I'm still sad to see that LeBron and AD had to be playing the fourth quarter. I'm still
yeah,
sad to see that the fact that they didn't blow them out by 20 plus. But a win is a win, like you said earlier. And with that, you have to take that as motivation and you have to keep going. I know John said it's situational as far as the lineup changes, but right
yeah.
now I'd say you stay with what worked for you tonight.
Oh no, for sure. Like
For
against
now,
the yeah, the Raptors, it's got to be the same lineup. It's got to be the same starting lineup against the Raptors. There's no reason to move on from it. So let's move forward with this lineup and hopefully we can dominate the Raptors and get a nice win. But I also, to your point there, I think there's a moment in time, whether it be the third, fourth minute to go in the fourth quarter, you've got to pull the stars out. You've got to pull them out. You've got to pull an AD out. I mean, you sort of look at him and go, no worries, you can play 48 minutes, but he can't. The more you play him for 48 minutes unnecessarily, there's a risk there. So, um, yeah, I can't complain tonight. I thought the boys played okay. I still think there's question marks. Connect. Rui didn't play well at all.
yeah,
Gabe
I'm
didn't
very
play well.
disappointed at the rough start Connect is having.
Yeah.
Especially as a rookie.
So
I get it, but yeah, and I understand he's not getting consistent touches, but it's a man's game now that he's playing, and he better man up.
what did you think about Rui tonight? I think he's gotten a bit of a pass because we've won, but he's got 9 points, three for three threes, which we knew but
He's
he was
coming
not
back from that illness, though. That's
yeah,
the only
okay,
thing. So I'll
true.
give him a pass tonight because again, he's coming back from that illness because he was out in the previous game. So
Hmm.
he did not look very effective tonight. Again, finishing to the hoop is not good at all. So
No,
yeah,
when it should be a lot better for someone of that size. Yeah.
yeah. John, let me get it back to you, my friend. Again, any positive thought? Again, we don't want to go on too much of a down note. Again, the Lakers did win, are now back above 500. Robert Wheeler's in the chat. Oh, he always asks great questions. Great to have you here, Robert. Let me bring back up. John, do you think it's a good idea for D'Lo to continue come off the bench because I think it helps him get out of a defer mindset like last year to LeBron and AD? Yeah, let me know your thoughts on that. Before I wanted to go ahead and mention because you are the president of the D'Lo fan club. Xbox is the president of the Josh Giddey fan club. There you go.
Oh, Xbox. Okay. I mean, makes sense. He is Australian.
But man,
So
that guy's got that
it's
jumper's
uh
that
it's under 16 only club, John.
ah,
Ah!
damn,
Good one.
set yourself up for that one, Xbox. Yes, no, but listen,
Nice.
I like Giddy. Giddy's
He's got to work
solid.
on that jumper. He's
He's
got to
yeah,
work on that
that's what I
jumper.
was gonna say. My thing is like you can't be because he's kind of like a point forward. Like he's really like a real point forward, and I love the way
Yeah,
he's able to bring the ball up court. But if he's gonna be a point forward, he's got to be able to shoot in this league, though.
he
He's got
can
One
to.
of
shoot
11.
though. He's not Ben Simmons. Like let's not
Yes,
put him in that that sort of category. He can shoot, but yeah, he needs to improve. You're right,
One
but
one
ball
of 11 is
handling,
not going to work. Ball handling, yes,
yeah,
great.
ball handling and passing
Yes,
is honestly
there.
it's near
He's
the top
there.
of the league.
I
It's
agree.
it's the
yeah.
shooting. You're right.
I agree. I
But
agree.
that and the defense in at playoff time is he going to be like D'Lo where it just stands out? That's the thing.
Yeah, but I don't know,
It.
Gerald. Like, I sort of felt they sort of ostracized him a bit. It wasn't just him. SGA didn't play that well. If you look back at it, I mean, they only played like two series. They
Mhm.
should have won against Dallas. Like, I don't know. They sort of hung him out to dry a bit, but you're right. There's improvements, but we're gonna back him. That's all we
Yeah.
I don't
No
blame
matter
you a
what.
bit.
No matter
So,
what.
That's all
so
we got,
John,
baby.
yes. So John, let me get you back in. Well, you actually, there's a couple more Aussies in the league, isn't there?
No,
Yeah.
you're right. But
The
he's probably
backup
the best of the
center in
best.
Houston, right?
Is it old mate? Yeah, I know who you're
Yeah,
talking about. He
yeah,
played
and
in
Jock,
Joe,
Phoenix
Jock
last year.
Landale.
Yeah,
Jock
Jock
Landale.
Landale, yeah,
Landau.
and
Yeah, we got
Joe
Dyson
Ingles.
Daniels, and
Yeah.
we got
Yeah.
Joe. We got
Yeah,
the
you
the
guys got a
guy that.
couple. Yeah.
Yeah, no, we do. But when the cream of the crop right now is probably Giddy,
Yeah.
and we were so hopeful that he would go with OKC for many years, but hasn't
I
worked
thought.
out. So let's see
And
what
I think,
happens in
and you said
Chicago.
Australia has disowned Ben Simmons. Is that correct?
Well, he sort of disowned himself. He came here a few years ago, and he apparently got racially taunted and all sorts of things at the airport, which they
Mm.
proved to be incorrect. But
They
yeah,
probably.
Ben's a funny. Sorry, John. I'll
No,
let
you're
you
good.
go.
You're good.
But Ben's a really funny case. He's sort of he's because he's born here, but he's primarily American. It We don't know how we feel about him. Put it that way. So we've moved on to Giddy.
That's okay.
Yes. I was gonna
Brooklyn,
say
Brooklyn feels about him the same
The
way, except
same,
for the
yeah.
fact that $40 million coming off their books at the end of the season.
I would.
Uh,
Yes.
No, I was gonna say that they probably didn't even racially profile Ben Simmons. They probably just told him like, "Hey, your shoes untied," and his feelings probably got
no,
hurt.
they ask him to try.
Probably
They ask him to try to shoot a free throw or make a
Yeah.
layup.
I
Okay.
can't play for
I
a year now.
can't stand that
Yeah.
guy. But
Uh,
let me get to
yeah,
Robert's question because
yeah, got
Robert
him right here.
shows
Yep.
love, and I appreciate Robert all the time. And
He's
Robert,
really good. Yes.
yes, you're great, Robert. I appreciate you being here, brother. He said, John, do you think it's a good idea for D'Lo to come off the bench? Because I think it helps get in the mindset of defer to Bron and AD. I am not gonna lie. Essentially, originally, I was I wanted to have D'Lo out there with LeBron because it allows LeBron to be able to run the lanes. Because I've said this a whole bunch of times. If it's not D'Lo, if it's not LeBron, the only other playmaker for us, only other true ball handler that I like bringing the ball up court is D'Angelo Russell because he allows LeBron to be able to run those lanes. He allows LeBron to be able to not have to take the um, point guard roles. But with that being said, what I saw tonight was the best D'Angelo Russell I've seen all season long. I'll tell you that all season long, I have seen the best D'Angelo Russell tonight, and maybe that was because he felt a little bit more free, not having to defer. So to your point, Robert, maybe it is best.
Yeah.
I'm a big believer in is if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? I'm not saying one game is defining whether it's broke or not, but one game's been better than what we've seen so far.
Yep.
So let's go with this. If it doesn't work, let's go do another adjustment. Another reason why I love JJ Redick, he's not opposed to adjustments. Darvin Ham,
Yeah.
no surprise, he came from the Coach Bud tree line. He's as stubborn as a freaking tree trunk. Like he's not going nowhere. Like if he says this is his guy, that's his guy. Remember, the Xbox talked about it, like how he took hella long to get off D'Lo. He took even longer to get off freaking Torian Prince. He was like married to Torian Prince for hella long. And that's because he wasn't realizing like, yo, I gotta switch it up. And
They
I'm
were
glad that we
loving
have
it.
we have JJ Redick. JJ Redick will actually switch things up. So I say, hey, if it doesn't, bring him off the bench for next game. But if it doesn't work next game, I say we continue just to move the chess pieces until we find out what really
Yep.
works.
So let me bring it back to you, Xbox. And once again, it is the Lakers winning 116 to 106. It's Mark, aka Xbox, all the way from Australia, along with John Costa, Clutch Talk and Lakers Corner. Go ahead and check out Mark's YouTube channel. It's already been put in the chat. You
Maybe
got subscribers, man.
promote the promote the Facebook channel that actually had some streams. But no,
All
don't.
right. Well, get us that link. If somebody could get us that link, I'll go ahead and
No,
make sure.
please
It's up.
don't. No,
But it
all
Oh
is.
good.
man,
But
La
let me get.
Malcolm, bro. Hold on, Gerald. Because La Malcolm, bro. I'm not hating on Darvin Ham. Like these are
Damn.
all things that are facts. Like, this is not just coming from my heart. Like, these are things you can literally go ahead and look up yourself. You can go back to last season and watch. Like, this is nothing. This has nothing to do with the person of Darvin Ham. This has to do with the way he coached it. Well, the way the lack of coaching he did for the team, the lack of accountability he took when he did mess up. So, like, I really don't want you to think I'm hating, brother. Like, I'm just being honest. I'm just being real. And in the same way, like, when JJ Redick does something wrong, we get on his ass. Earlier, my boy Xbox, my boy Mark, whoever you want to call you, brother.
Hell
Like,
yeah,
he was saying, "Yo, well,
both.
why in the fudge is Anthony Davis, LeBron still in the game late in this game?" And that's a knock on JJ Redick, and we'll give them their knocks, but and we'll give them their credit when they deserve their credit. But I'm gonna be honest, brother. There is not much credit that I don't think Darvin Ham deserves. I'm just being 100% honest with
Nah.
you, like, and that's just how I feel about it. So it's no hate, brother. It's no hate.
No, I agree completely, John. Like the reason we made the finals in not last year, the year before, was
Mm.
purely because of LeBron and AD and their level.
Mhm.
Like it wasn't Ham. We know that now. You look at it in hindsight, you're like, yeah, Ham was trash, and look what he's. I mean, Milwaukee's going, bad. So you see all these memes about Ham and Doc, and it's like, unlucky boys. But yeah, I mean, Ham just wasn't a good coach. So we know that. We said that from day one. The players managed to get to a position where they were competitive. Even last year, they won the in season. We made the play in, we made the playoffs, but it's not good enough for a ball club like us. It's
Yeah.
just not. Like, I don't care. Like, LeBron can't be looking at this going, oh, this is sufficient. Like, we're going to make 10, 11, 12th spot. Like, it's just not. We got to be right up there. Like, Joe, and I'm not going to go on a Joey rant, but like Joe, John, and Gerald, and everyone I've spoken about before, there's major issues at the top here. And unless that changes or we get fortunate where we get a draft pick or, we trade for the right player, yeah, it's just, we're going to be competitive, but we're going to be mediocre. So,
I
man,
mean,
but
there
I'm
are
happy
reasons,
with JJ.
even with the most optimistic. And Arthur, thank you so much for the super chat. Truly very kind of you and appreciate you doing so. I'll pop it up here on a second. Even Laker Tom, the most optimistic guy who actually picked the Lakers to win the championship, guess where he had them in the Western Conference finishing? Sixth. So
6, yeah.
even he has his doubts about this Lakers team. And
Yeah,
for
and
us,
he said JJ was the second coming of Pat Riley. So,
yes,
yeah.
absolutely. And he picked them six. And nobody was higher out of what the 13 different panelists that we had predicting. They None of them picked them higher than six. I mean, I picked them ninth.
Mm, yeah. No,
Stone Hansen
you
picked
did.
them 11th. We did it for a reason. We just are not sure the Lakers have the roster if they incur any injuries to LeBron or AD for any length of
Yeah, we're
time.
gone.
As Joe
Yep.
says, we're dead.
Yeah.
It's just that simple.
Yep.
What do you think, Mark? Is that true, or is that along the lines, as far as that's concerned, or do you think that the
Yeah.
Lakers can compete in the Western Conference?
Yeah. No, I mean, look, I mean, you get a injury to LeBron, and maybe in a really, really lucky world we can cover it, but an injury to AD is uncoverable. So, and to LeBron it's the same extent. So no, we're really top heavy right now. We know that, and we need to spread potentially LeBron's wage over a few players or get in the right players. Like, yeah, we can't afford injury to those players. If we do, we're gone. I mean, if say hypothetically it becomes in the 80th game and we're in the finals, yeah, we'll play finals, but we won't go anywhere. We need those two firing, and from what I'm seeing from LeBron early days, there's massive concerns. Like he doesn't, like I've said before, yeah, I'm 39 like LeBron, but I'm actually, hey, I'm born in 85. He's born in 84, but he's December boy. So there's not much difference between us, and I know what it feels like to be this age. And as much as you mentally can think you're young, physically you're not. So, and you can see that in LeBron. I personally, I can just see it. Early days, I can see it. I saw it a little bit at the Olympics where he was rolling with Steph and AD and at times Ant-Man and a couple of the younger guys. He can still set them up and he can still do, the odd great play, obviously the great dunk, but he's nowhere near what he was. Even if you look back at the 2020 bubble, he's just not at that level at all because you just decline. It's a given with age. So fingers crossed he can do it. I love LBJ, but yeah, I don't know. I'm a bit concerned. I sort of see a bit of a barren period for a couple of years until something really exciting happens. But we'll see. We front up every week. We love the Lakers, and if we win, we're happy. So that's it.
Before I get to Arthur's super chat, and thank you again, Arthur, I will get to your super chat. And also, I know that Jeremy had a question as well. We'll get to your Dalton Connect question for the guys. Uh, Kurt Affair did have a question as well for you, Xbox, and I wanted to do it before I forget. What moves outside of getting Giddy would you make to improve the roster?
Well, Giddy's the first move, and then whoever falls in line, Paddy Mills, Andrew Bogut, get him out of retirement. Shane Hill, Andrew Gage from the 90s. But look, it's a tough one. If I had, just say hypothetically, you could trade anyone for LeBron. Uh, looking at the current list of young players, it would probably be Ant-Man for me. I didn't feel that way at times last year, but looking at his play now, he's elevated to the three. He stepped at times during the Olympics, and he has that athleticism, which I'd love to see in the Lakers, similar to Kobe. Yeah, that'd be if I could just a hypothetical dream world, it would be LeBron for Ant-Man.
Arthur brings up a good point. And again, Arthur, thank you so much for helping the channel out with your super chat. He said they ran this before. This is very astute, and he is right. They inserted
Yeah,
Cam into the starting lineup. They did for a short
true.
period of time last season. Under Darvin, they benched D'Lo, and then the coach saw how poorly Cam was offensively and put D'Lo back in. A retread
Mm,
idea. In essence, it is. It worked for this game, but it was against a 1-6 team. I think they wanted a better matchup defensively just for Paul George. It again, if Cam is in there, he's going to have to score, which is something he can't do or hasn't done
yeah,
in his entire tenure with the Lakers, Mark. So I am with Arthur on that. It's something you cannot have a very long tenure on if you realize that he's that bad offensively unless he's really giving you lockdown defense. If you can make up for his lockdown defense that he's having, supposedly, if he does,
yeah,
the numbers bear out better than what we're seeing. But if he is playing at a high defensive rate, and the Lakers can around him provide enough shooting and scoring like they did tonight, but I don't expect him to shoot as well continuously like they did tonight. What are your thoughts on this again, as Arthur really astutely says it,
mm.
a retread idea that Darvin Ham tried last year and now JJ is doing right now?
No, Arthur, you're exactly right. We said that in commentary today around in December. We were December last year when Darvin Ham did the same thing, benched D'Lo, and there was really no backup plan. It was bench D'Lo and then put in, okay, in this instance today, Cam Reddish. Okay, Cam Reddish played okay today defensively, but we know from his style of play it's not going to last. So it's like, who do you put in next? There's no one to put in next. So is D'Lo really under pressure? It's like, okay, you're only dropped for this game because, I mean, if you look at that third quarter and that moment in play where JJ dropped him, it was horrific what he did. He jacked up a three from beyond where Steph throws it, and
Mhm.
he went for a defensive play and he hesitated, and JJ had no he couldn't not sort of take him out of the game. So you look at that in isolation, and then you say to yourself, okay, the move is to put on Cam Reddish. It's not long term, and that's the problem. It might be for next game. Look, D'Lo shouldn't start for me again. I can't see a pathway for him to start again, even if he scores 25 points in a game. I look at that and go, let's keep that on the bench because we've got no offensive power off the bench. So, D'Lo is stuck between a rock and a hard place. I think JJ gave him a lot of room to move and he gave him the respect he needed, but he didn't show him in the first 8 to 10 games that, I'm a winner. So you can bring him to the starting lineup, but then Cam goes back to the bench. We've got massive issues, put it that way. But I like the fact that JJ isolated, identified it, and called it out because that's what you need to do to move forward. Darvin wouldn't have done that. He would have protected D'Lo for a lot longer. So we'll move forward with what JJ's doing. But unless Palenka can change this team or the squad, D'Lo's not feeling too much pressure right now.
He did protect Prince in the starting lineup for what over half the
Yes.
season, but he did not make the move to bench D'Lo until December, and then that's when they tried Cam, but Cam got hurt. And again, you know, when it comes to Cam Reddish, I said it before the start of the season. Yes, Cam Reddish was still on the team, and you guys be warned. At some point in time in the season, he is going to be installed somewhere in that rotation, and sure enough, mother
Bang.
of necessity, it happened to be that way. But you're right. You're damned if you do, and you're damned if you don't when it comes to the
Yeah.
Lakers. So let's say you put D'Lo back in the starting lineup. Your defense on the perimeter is absolutely abysmal once again, and your bench is absolutely abysmal because Max and Dalton connect. And I am getting your question now,
Yeah.
Jeremy. Dalton has been, we hyped him up so good. He looks so good in the summer league. I understand in a preseason as well. I understand it's a man's game when it takes a different notch and a different level when you go from preseason to the regular season. And it's just disappointing that his only great outing so far was in garbage time.
Yep.
I still want this kid to succeed. I still see something in this kid, but like Rodell has been on Max Christie, but right now both of those young guys are not getting it done, Xbox, which makes it the bench that much worse.
No, you're right. Like Dalton, for me, exactly the same. He looks just, aesthetically, he looks like a really nice person. And he has the NBA body. So you're looking at him going, man, and when you hear commentary as well, they're sort of saying he's NBA ready. He's obviously 22, 23, 24. But early days, he hasn't shown it, Gerald. Today for me was a big game for him. And the other day when he started was a massive game for him. And okay, we can talk about, inconsistent three production or, inconsistent, seeing the ball throughout the game. But when you get the ball, when you're a shooter, you got to score. And he didn't do that tonight. And his stroke just doesn't look as good as what I saw in the preseason.
Yeah,
I'm not an
I get it.
aficionado, but whether it's the crowd, yeah, it's just a little bit off or he's just a little bit tense. But don't get me wrong, as guys know in the chat, Dalton Connect is officially called Xbox Connect. So we're going to back him, at least as far as Xbox back the Connect, Gerald, which is about 2 months.
I'm going to
So
stay with them a little while longer. I'm not going to get off the Connect train yet, but
I'm
I
not.
am going to say, you know what? He has disappointed, and we're going to call it out. Just like
Yeah.
we called it out when we thought Max Christie was not going to be a rotational player.
Yep.
And I don't know who the Lakers were bidding against to get him on that 4-year, $32 million deal. Well, now he's in the doghouse. You see him
Well,
now.
and
Yeah,
to
go
your
ahead.
point before about JJ, I mean, give him credit for that. Ham might have not put Christie in the doghouse. I know he did it on occasions, but tonight was the night where Christie could have came out and scored 10 to 15 junk points, easy points. But I don't feel JJ gave him that respect because he realizes this guy's not up to the level. So, um, Again, back to the point of JJ. JJ looks like he knows what he's doing. It's just whether or not he's going to have the cattle. And Christie for me has just been so disappointing. Like when I look at him, as a person that doesn't, hasn't watched the history of the NBA, I sort of looked at him thinking, oh, you could be a, sort of a young DeMar DeRozan, sort of had that 2 point, shot, maybe go out to the three, but he's just not. He's not NBA level, Gerald. Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, I don't see him playing at the level for that long. Put it that way.
Well, I mean, he's got the 4-year deal, and then by then, when
Yeah.
he finishes it, he'll still be 25. So
Hmm.
somebody will probably take a chance on him again, like THT. And although THT, he shows you those flashes. He was
Yeah.
the last guy picked up on the Chicago roster. He had with Levine out, he got a chance to play, got double digits. So every now and then, he shows you just enough to stay in the league. But when he's given more time and opportunities, THT doesn't get it done. I'm thinking that may be the kind of same pitfall that Christie may fall into
Yep.
until, of course, the fateful day when we get expansion, 2 more teams. That'll be 24 more slots, 30 more slots, excuse me. So he'll always have a place in the league if that's the case. But yeah, I just think that his career with the Lakers, I'm just worried though that he may be that next one in line as far as Lakers rotation players that are sent packing, and he'll find prosperity somewhere else because we've
Somewhere
seen it
else.
already. Mo
Scotty
Wagner,
Pippen. Yeah.
Scottie Pippen, Jay Huff, Ivica
Yeah.
Zubats.
Oh,
That's
well,
the one that kills me the
yeah.
most.
I mean, but when you look at it, like he was good for us. I mean, when you look at just basic metrics, the size, I just don't know why we would have traded him. I mean,
Mike Muscala, man, Mike
yeah,
Muscala.
yeah, 3 point demon. Um,
He is out of the
I don't
league.
know.
I think he's
Well,
coaching for
go back
OKC.
to, even if we just, the trade scenario where we don't want to talk down Magic, but when you're looking at Lonzo Ball and Jason Tatum, there's no way, if you look at that draft and the sort of the metrics, Lonzo was good, of course, but really his dad got him over the line. Where imagine if we had Tatum now, Gerald.
Mhm.
I mean,
It's
I
that,
hate the fact
but
he
Rob
plays
was
in
also in the
Boston.
room as well. Remember, Rob was in the room as
Yeah,
well.
of course he was. I mean, yeah, it was a massive error. So and we've compounded it year after year after that. So we'll see. We're a big enough club that we can make our way out of this, but I just feel there's a bit of a holding pattern right now with LeBron. Unless he can stand up this year, it's like, man, you're on such big money with his salary cap the way it is. Yeah, we need that freed up so we can move forward, but we'll see. We'll see.
So I better not tell you then that Zubats
LeBron
leads
started
the.
for 4 years.
Well, Zubats, yeah, oh, that's the other thing. But Zubats leads the league in rebounding, and he got 15
Yeah.
rebounds tonight. So
Oh, just a lazy 15.
yeah, just a
Well,
lazy 15 indeed.
yeah, we
Yeah,
couldn't handle that.
no, no, not at all. Jeez, yeah, one of the worst rebounding teams in the league last year, and,
Yeah,
and this year a little bit better, but not by much. And but again,
man.
it is what it is, Mark. But man,
Yep.
just so great to have you here.
Thank
Again,
you for
your thoughts
allowing
on
me
the
to
game.
join, Gerald.
Oh, always, my friend. Always have been a great part of what we're doing here in the chat. The fact that you get, you might have given Search a couple gray hairs every now and then, but outside of that, sorry, Search.
Yeah,
But
apologies.
the best way to
And
get
that,
the best way to treat one of the guys that are giving you trouble in the chat room, bring them on stage with me or
that's
Gerald.
right.
There you go.
But
Yeah.
before you go, Gerald, just we should reciprocate the thanks, man. Honestly, what you do for the community. Obviously, you've found that you've engaged with a lot of Australians. So thank you so much. Because there's a lot of Lakers channels out there, like Lakers Nation and Lakers locked on. I'm not going to mention too many. Don't join them
There's
at all.
Lakers. Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Believe me. I get
but
the reports every morning. Every time one of them puts out a show, I get the reports the next morning, and it's just like,
yeah,
yeah, there's a long list.
but what you do for us in this community, and especially yourself, yourself and Joe, has been amazing. So thank you so much, and just allowing us to come on. That's great. But the education and man, Gerald, the hours you put in, man. Our membership and our super contributions aren't enough for what you do. So thank you so much.
Absolutely, I appreciate it. Thank you, Mark. Speaking of memberships, when we have another big crowd, I'll go ahead. I'll throw out some more memberships. YouTube did send it passed along, so I will be doing that on a day that we have some really good crowds, so we get a whole bunch of people out there. So the opportunity to become members and give that a try. But if you want to go ahead and become a member right now, just $2.99 a month. I dropped on the latest pop culture cosmos 24 hours ahead of where I will release it publicly on YouTube. So go ahead and check that out for members only right now. And then also as well, of course, emojis, badges, and big shout outs from always right below, right from here
Hell
for the
yeah.
Lakers fans break. I'm trying, my friend. I'm trying. I'm trying to make this to an experience people will follow, people hope to enjoy. Joey, I know he provides a lot of entertainment. A lot of people. So funny because when new people join and new people enter and they see Joe for the first time, they don't know really how to react. Uh, they like, what is this guy all about? They can't figure him out. They want him to chill, and they don't realize until like the third or fourth episode that this guy never chills. So
Nah,
that's just
Joe's
who
the
he is.
best.
Yeah. So
It's
absolutely.
the we learned so much from you and Joe Gerald. Like just yeah, man, learning the Lakers history and the passion. Look, if you're not passionate about the Lakers, it's not the channel for you. But
Yeah.
if you want to keep it real, come here because Lakers Nation and all these other channels, fake reporting, blah 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 blah. This is just a brilliant channel for a Lakers community. So it's only going to grow, Joel. You can see that. You can
Yeah.
tell how much it's grown.
And I did have a discussion with someone earlier today that says I was, apologizing, a Laker apologist for LeBron. And I'm like, no, I'm just telling it as is. Statistically, he
Yeah,
is playing better than any 39-year-old has ever played.
yeah.
Michael Jordan, when he was 39, was doing turnaround
Didn't hit that
jumpers.
many.
It didn't
Yeah,
hit that many along, his way to a very poor field goal and 3-point percentage, but he did average 20 flat. I checked it. I looked at it. So there's nobody that's playing as far as statistically better. Are there lapses in his game? Defensively, he takes several plays off. Oh, we know
yeah,
this. I know this. Everybody knows. He doesn't do it only when he feels inspired, like when John Morant pisses him off. Or today, there was a couple times where he actually played pretty good defense, but that's just a couple times. I get it. I
yeah.
understand it. But he's 39. He's going to do that. He's going to commit more to the offensive game, Mark. But the thing is, it's all about winning to me and Joe. And when I say that LeBron could have easily, he's worth over $1 billion. You think if he really wanted to win, he would have told the Lakers, "I'm
I'll
just going
take
to take a cheap
nothing.
deal." Yeah, I saw what
Yeah,
Brunson did in New York.
yeah,
Brunson took a lesser deal because he wants to win.
yeah,
I want to do the same thing. And number two, Bronny isn't ready as an NBA player. No way you guys should draft him. No way you
yeah.
guys should draft him. Or if you do, put him in the G League, undrafted player in the G League for the entire season. If you truly meant for this team to win, he would be taking those steps. But it's clear he does not have that same type of winning mentality that he once did as far as winning championships. He doesn't want, I don't know if he wants to go all out, or you could judge for yourself, because there are days where he just doesn't look like he has it and some days he does. But I'm not a LeBron apologist. I'm a Lakers fan first and foremost, like Joe.
Oh yeah.
But when you statistically look at it, he is playing better than anyone has at this age. But unfortunately, this team is structured for a younger LeBron to be doing it on an every game basis, and he can't do that anymore on both sides of the ball, Xbox.
100%. Which is a shame. We all look at LeBron, we revere him, and we remember, the 10 finals that he made, and won 4 chips or whatever, but and the chips that he won for us, but he's not the same player. He's just not, and you know, I think the chat in the main, we just want a younger player. We want a younger team to back and to look forward to. It's not against LeBron, as I said, I'm his age. I'm all for people of his age being able to play forever. And Tom Brady played till 44, 45, whatever. But at the end of the day, it just seems like a big decline from where he was. And when you're talking about taking 50 mil, when you're that rich, when I don't know if he's rich, but he's obviously earned a lot. So it's like, just take half so we can get in another superstar, or don't draft your son so we can spend that 8, 12, 15 million on another mid-level exception. It seems like the way he's sort of involved with the club is sort of against the way that we've always followed the club, which has been winning mentality, winning at all costs. If you're past it, you move on. Look at Kobe. Kobe could have played for 2, 3, 4 more years.
Yeah.
He would have been LeBron's level, if you ask me. Maybe not exactly the same as LeBron is now at 40, but he would have been close. He would have got his 20, 25 points a game, 5 assists, whatever. But you move on. It's the natural progression of life, where I feel like LeBron's holding on a little bit too long. But yeah, man. Like, we front up and we love the Lakers and we just hope they win. But LeBron hopefully moves on at one stage.
I think, Jeremy, based on the contract that he signed, I think that it's based on where he was drafted. As far as most, there were some guys right around it that weren't even given guaranteed contracts. Some
Mhm.
were given two ways that were drafted right around him. But for guys that were, if they were offered a guaranteed contract that late in the draft, I think that's the most they can slot him. But it is like it's under 2 million for this year. But again, it's
Yeah,
a win financially for the Lakers. As much as I hate to say it, and I hate the fact that he is on this
it's a
team,
positive,
taking up a
net
roster spot,
positive.
it is for Jeannie at the end of the day. She's making hand over fist with merchandising sales on Bronny alone. Forget
Yeah,
LeBron, forget AD, forget Connect, forget AR, forget D'Lo, forget all the other stuff as far as merchandising for all those other players. The Lakers are getting a nice cut. And you see with tomorrow night's game already sold out for the G League game, a G
yeah.
League game getting sold out tomorrow, Xbox. That's crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Can I ask you, Gerald, and I'm sorry to sort of ask this question, but if Kobe was around, because Kobe, he seemed to have the ear of Genie, and obviously Rob, who was his best mate. Do you sort of see this kind of stuff happening? Because it seems, the whole Bronny James thing it's a little bit of a sideshow.
It is a sideshow. And I'll tell you, let me go back before I answer your question. Let me take you back to last year. LeBron took a game off and he was
Yeah,
sitting in the front row like halfway through the game. And the camera panned him to him with Linda Rambus on one
yeah,
arm
yep,
and Genie on the other. I tell the story all the time, but I
yeah,
want to
like it was
reiterate to
Hugh
the fact
Hefner.
that that's a man who has full control
Power, yep,
and power on what he wants to do with this team. That's a team. That's the owner of the Lakers, right there. That is just oogling all over him. And if that's the
yeah,
case, there is nothing he can't have. With if he wants it, he can have it with the Lakers. Getting
yeah,
back to Kobe, I don't think if Kobe was, let's say you move the time frame on Kobe's career. Let's say
yeah,
instead of when he started. Let's say I don't know. Let's say 2010. Let's say 2010. He would still be playing in the league right now. I don't think he would have. He and LeBron would have ever played. I don't think LeBron would have come to LA. I don't
no,
think that their personalities would have meshed enough where either of that's my bold personal take. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but I don't think that salary wise it wouldn't have worked if you want AD, LeBron, and Kobe on the same team because they all wanted an amount of money. First off, you remember Kobe's last contract, for instance, the thank you from the
yeah, it was
Lakers,
big time. Yeah,
yeah, and that was a big part of the problem as far as the salary cap is concerned.
Yeah,
Did he deserve it? Absolutely, for what he's did to the Lakers
yeah,
organization. But there is a
that's
price you
right.
pay when you make those big contracts and how much they take out of your cap. But I don't think that those two would have ever played together on the same team if things had worked out differently. So I don't think we would have had to deal with LeBron. Now, having LeBron here, if you would ask me, would I do it all over again, getting LeBron and getting
Yeah,
AD?
yep,
I would do it again because one championship is enough for me for
yeah,
those
of
guys.
course. We love
Because you don't know
chips.
when you're going to win a championship. You
No, no,
really
you're
don't
right.
know. You don't know.
Yeah, yeah. No, true.
Could
I like.
those young guys, Mark, have made it to a team with the right moves into a powerhouse team? Those young kids, that were playing at the time of Randall and Ingram and all that. Who knows? I
Well,
don't know.
yeah.
We don't
No,
know.
it's. I mean, you look at each of their careers, and they've been fine. And Randall's in Minnesota, and you know, old mate Caruso, who traded for Giddy. Giddy's a better player, but Caruso's solid, and yeah, and the guy in Washington solid, but yeah, no, we'll take it, Gerald. Obviously, we're a championship team, so we'll take any chip that we get. It's just I feel like LeBron sort of recognized that maybe the Olympics was his peak, and sort of could have moved on because it's just too much money tied up in LeBron. When you've got a player like AD, who AD could be he's a 1 to 5 player in the league. So when you put that with any other decent player, like if you look at Luca, I mean, maybe he's 2 or 3. He's playing with Kyrie, who's in the 15 to 30 type players. You can get right up there. Where I feel like AD is probably 1 to 5, and LeBron can be on his best day a top 10 player, but he's generally not right now. And the way we're looking, he's just not. So he's not even Kyrie level in terms of his production. I know he can be in terms of output, in terms of numbers. But yeah, I just feel like LeBron's just too old, and it's a shame because yeah, AD's playing so well early. But anyway, fingers crossed for LeBron. Sorry.
Is it how sad? No, how sad is it, Xbox, that AD has been playing at an MVP level, yet the Lakers
Yeah.
are only 5-4.
Well, I mean, I remember AD in New Orleans, and I thought AD was just out of this world, man. Like he used to score. I know he had the DeMarcus Cousins come along for a few years there, but even before that and post that, 80 was 30, 35 a night, 10 rebounds, 5, 6, 7, 8 assists, and plus. And it was like, okay, this guy's an absolute star. He's not Jokic. He's like a mini Giannis without, he's in terms of the numbers.
Mhm.
Giannis plays a different way, but they're very dominant in numbers, like rebounds, blocks. AD's obviously a great defender. So you're thinking to yourself, this is an absolute cornerstone of the Lakers. But because of LeBron's sort of longevity and the way he's held on, it hasn't worked out that way. And it's a shame. You really need, like, imagine an Ant Man with um, AD. It'd be unreal to watch. Where with LeBron, it's great, and there's great times, and they have a great 2-man game, but yeah, it's not gonna last.
That's the problem that's going to face, and especially again if LeBron or AD gets injured, that's going to be a really hard sign, especially if AD gets injured and he's out for an
Yeah,
extended period of time. The Lakers have nothing to make up for that. If LeBron is out, I mean, if Rui and Austin and D'Lo and another player, they can make up for his scoring. Obviously on the defensive end, it won't hurt you much there, but if AD goes out, that's the killer right there, and he's looking injured already every time he goes up
yep.
the floor. Xbox.
Well, it's game over. Yeah, it's same old story. We sort of anytime AD sort of feigns an injury, you think, oh, is he out for the whole year? So it's the same old story. Really, we're so reliant on AD. I love watching him play, but just don't know where it's going to go, Gerald. If we get an injury, Yeah, I mean, AD's one thing. Imagine if we get an injury to LeBron. That's sort of 40% of the side's output. So my big hope is that we can get through this period with a little bit of obviously optimism and just JJ coming out with experience, and because he just seems like a really great coach. So I'd hate for him to get sidetracked by essentially our sort of sideshow that can happen in LA.
Hmm.
I don't know how you feel about that.
Well, I do want to mention also. No, I agree with you on that. Again, I'm still trying to evaluate JJ, but he is making a lot of good moves. Again, sometimes he gets, the team gets in too much of a rut and starts falling back on some really bad habits, and he's got to try and control that a little bit better. But I do want
Yeah,
to give some comments on the after the game. D'Angelo Russell said on the bench roll, "I just want to win," and that he added, "I left all my baggage at the
good
door
call.
when Lakers made a coaching change in the offseason." So, what was his name in the chat? He was just here in the chat talking about trying to defend Ham a little bit. I mean, that tells you right there the players did not
Yep.
like Darvin Ham. If the players do not like the coach they're playing for, he is not long for the team. And Law Malcolm, I know that you're in your phrasing that it seems like you're supporting what Ham did, and I get that. On the surface, the two playoff series looks kind of nice, but the resume is only as nice as if the players give you the good support on it. When you call for references on a job, when I managed businesses, when I managed department stores, when I managed rental facilities, car rental facilities, when I managed in hotels, and I got resumes, I always made sure I looked at the references. If the references cannot speak good about you, it shows you I need to get another candidate in there that can do the job better than you can. So right now, when you've got D'Lo talking smack to you tonight, that tells you how much the Laker players did not like playing with Darvin Ham, Xbox.
100%. You could just tell from the like they showed a little bit of footage before the game where D'Lo was talking to JJ, and you could tell he respected the decision. He knew that he didn't play well enough, and he had to step up and do what JJ said. Where with Ham, there wasn't any of that. It was JJ go to D'Lo go to the bench, and we'll figure out if you're going to start in the future. AR, you go to the bench. It just wasn't the same. There was a level of respect there, and JJ even spoke about it in terms of how good D'Lo has been at taking feedback on board. So I'm positive with that. No one wants D'Lo to be a shadow of himself. He obviously needs confidence as a player, but I like the fact he started off the bench tonight. He could come on and sort of affect his scoring. He came on and did a couple of layups, which were pretty effective. But he also did some silly plays. So nah, JJ, everything JJ has done as far outside looking in to me has been right. His temperament, yeah. Gerald, he got a question the other day from the Muppet at Muppets Aussie
Mm-hmm.
terminology for a fool,
Mm-hmm.
from from the Lakers Nation guy, Trevor Lane, and he
Mm-hmm.
stormed out. And I just he cares. Obviously, there's I think every Lakers fan is actually really behind JJ. Which if you go into it early days, we didn't feel like that, Gerald. We sort of thought, oh, who's this? JJ's never, even just the minimum fact he never played for the Lakers, we just thought, oh, he's an NBA analyst. Like, I think he's got it. Honestly, I think he's got it to a degree. There's just something that I can see in him. He's young, he's energetic, he cares. We just need the right team. And whether or not that's going to be that way for the next few years, we'll see. LeBron obviously respects him, but yeah, credit to D'Lo, sucked it up tonight. I think he's going to play like that moving forward, and I'll be happy. I'll always back up players, but they have to play for the jersey, and D'Lo hasn't done that at times.
I wanted to go ahead and get a couple things out there. First off, Jeremy, I just checked playback. They do not have a listing for the G League game tomorrow on Sportsnet, so I apologize. I can't put it on playback. I would really like to if I could, but I can't put it on there. I do not have the access to it. It is interesting, Xbox, since you said you're such a big fan. They do have the Champions League, EPL, and Euro League available if you ever want to host games on it, my friend, like Real
On
Madrid.
playback?
Yeah,
Ah,
yeah. Real Madrid. They have Crystal Palace, Brighton versus
Gerald, don't go
Manchester.
there.
Okay,
Just mention
uh,
Barcelona. Don't mention
okay,
Real Madrid. No, I'm sorry,
okay.
sorry.
No worries. But that's who I've seen. That's who I see for tomorrow. Just one.
100%. Yeah, La Liga. That's awesome.
Tottenham Sunday, Chelsea. I'm looking for
Tottenham
Barcelona.
Ipswich.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah. On Sunday, they
Sunday
have Real Sociedad versus
versus
Barcelona.
Barca.
Yeah,
Perfect. I might host that. We'll
yeah.
see
Let
who
let me know.
joins.
Give me the heads up, and since you're a moderator, you can go ahead and start up anytime. Yeah, let me know.
Fantastic. Thank you
Yeah,
so much.
no worries. But I wanted to go ahead and make sure a couple things before we head on out. On Twitter, it was mentioned by Mike Trudell that Reddick was very pleased with Cam Reddish and D'Angelo in their spots tonight. He did mention, as John, give John credit for before he had to go, John Costa, that the situation with as far as the lineups are fluid, so you could see it
Yeah.
change and fluctuate depending on who they play or depending on how also this particular Lakers play as well. But he said the situation is fluid with that. And last but certainly not least, AD on his foot. It hurts. It's definitely bothering me, but I'll figure it out. Getting it loose enough to go out there and play and try to manage it throughout the course of the game so it doesn't tighten up. It felt good for the most part. Off days are the most crucial. He is dealing, for those that are listening on audio, he is dealing with plantar fasciitis, and that's not going to go away, Mark, anytime soon.
No. And that's not going to help. So, you know, we just got to ride it out. I mean, I don't want to make him play in tournament again, Gerald, but you know, if I see us making playoffs at all, it's there right now. So let's just keep rolling with it. AD is, top of the scoring charts. He might be second now, but hopefully he can make a push for MVP and we can get something out of the season or something like that. But there's issues.
There's issues indeed, but great show. Thank you, Xbox, Mark.
Thank you so much for having me.
Anytime, you're most welcome to join us at any point in time. You want to, stop by. You can be on the show anytime you like. I'll send you links, and
I'd
you hop
love it.
on when you want. And if you don't want, you want to hang out in the chat and fight with Kurt and Search and JSJ as they all are fighting each other in Search. I'm just kidding.
Not my fault.
It's a lot of love there going on. Even though Search said something about banning everyone. I don't know what he meant by that, but okay. All right. But
Search is on the warpath.
Search is the Hall of Famer of mods right there for you. But I mean, anybody who takes the time to mod, I truly appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure.
The only thing I ask is don't abuse the power of mods. And if that's the case, and you guys are good about it, and you're obviously go after the real hard trolls. If you're just going at people who have a difference of opinion, let's try to work it out. Let's try to talk it out, and let's try to hear that side as well. But you guys do an awesome job in the chat. I'm just truly thankful and blessed to have you guys all there. Once again, the Lakers win 116-106. I may be stuck hosting the Lakerholics tomorrow at 11 a.m. I'll put it in the calendar. It's funny because L. Rob said he's going to be there or going to try to be there. I don't know I got to wake up early in the morning, take my wife to work, and then I got to be up in a couple hours later than that to go and have Laker Tom chew me out. Yeah, I can't wait for that.
Yeah,
that'd be great. Yeah,
it's perfect for us on a Sunday. It's like 9
a.m.
in the morning, but yeah, we don't have to stress out about it.
It'll be evening. It'll be evening for you, I think, at that point in time. 11 o'clock in the morning for us is, I think, evening for you.
Well, it just depends. Like typically, the Lakerholics are on quite early, to be honest. So,
okay.
I wake up and often the streams there, but
okay.
Yeah, they're funny guys. And geez, isn't the Michael? Is it Michael? The
Michael is the guy who has to mediate between those guys.
He's
Yes.
just such a nice guy. Like he just lets Jamie and Laker Tom just go. And I just
Yes.
think to myself, he must have been a teacher or something, just ultimate impatience.
And he also lives in Hawaii, so you're just laid back
Okay,
because you're
gotcha.
enjoying this. Yes, I would be, if I lived in Hawaii, I'd be laying back and just letting those two go at it like they've been doing for over a decade now. So yeah, go off from there. But
Good
yeah, it
times.
is the Lakerholics tomorrow. I am trying to figure out when Joe and I can go back to Lakers Fast Break University because we did promise a Lakers 101 on a particular subject, and I've got that in my notes. So I will go
Done.
ahead and make sure it's done. I'd love to have you guys catch that. So it is, of course, the Lakers Fast Break. Jeremy says, "Does Laker Tom wear the sunniest because he is stoned?" No, I don't think he's. I don't think he gets as stoned as much as he says he does. I don't think Mrs. Laker Tom would allow that, but he might just from time to time light one up. But again, what John would probably know. John would probably know better than we are because he lives closer to him than
The
we
Laker
do.
Tom, you can
Yes,
smell it.
yes, exactly. But Mark, great to have you here. Great
Thanks
to
so
have
much,
everyone in the
Gerald.
chat. No worries. Once again, it is 116 to 106. The Lakers do win. We'll be back
Go Lakers.
tomorrow. Go Lakers. We'll be back tomorrow for more fun and hijinks and to see how many times Laker Tom will yell at me or Jamie. We'll find out tomorrow right here at the Lakers Fast Break Podcast.